Welcome back, everyone, to the Terrphy Show. I am John Mann, and to my right, or to my left, or center stage, is my lovely wife, Mary. How the hell have you been?
I am well. Thank you for that introduction. I think you just need the music to do it properly.
I think so, too.
That's the problem. Or maybe we just need Podbean. I don't know.
Maybe we do need it in our life. I don't like to say that we need something.
But that music, I mean, it really changed that intro. Really.
It did.
And you introduced me proper. It wasn't like, hey, this is my wife, Mary.
Maybe that's why you haven't been happy. You haven't had intro music.
I've not had a proper introduction.
Sorry.
Not had the amp up coming into this podcast. I haven't had that, yeah, it's time. Maybe it's that dopamine that I need. And then the proper introduction from you.
Yeah, I mean, dopamine is hard to come by these days.
It is. Sorry, I was making sure that was a fly and not a bee, because it's a big one.
Well, I saw it flying. I was like, well, it's definitely not a spider unless 2023 is getting fucking wild.
Who knows? It could be. Who knows? I mean, the world's on fire.
It's been on fire for a while, but we're kind of we've reinvented ourselves a little bit here, coming back, doing something a little different.
We've kind of tried all the different, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We've kind of gone all over the place. We went to Twitch for a minute. We went to YouTube for a minute. We went back to Twitch. We went to just recording just us. We're just trying to figure out
our brand,
what we want the podcast to look like. We don't want it to be work, but we still want to be consistent.
And we also want it to be fun.
Yeah, fun, and I want to be real, but I
don't want to be crying.
I don't want to be crying, and I don't want to be too real. For our long time old timers that were there for every show, all those episodes are deleted. Yeah. So
I mean, we had 150 episodes, just gone with the wind, and we're just we need to rethink this.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have archived them. I do have them archived, but it's just one of those things that sometimes some stuff is just better left
in the past.
And
I know we had fun moments, right? It's not like we didn't have fun moments or meet really cool people on here that we're still friends with. But it was time to move on. And so we're just trying to figure it out. So thanks for having us back on Podbean again. We're excited to be here. For all of you that are getting the new episodes that are subscribed to our channel and notice the new logo change and brand change, we're like the Terrphys 2.0. We moved states, which we finally did, which we were talking about. We bought a house. I completely changed career fields. John got a promotion, and we're still getting our footing. We've been here a year in our new location, and it's crazy. I didn't think it would take us this long to acclimate and get our footing. And
what's crazy is when we were going strong with this podcast, we were looking at cities every single week.
Every week.
We were contemplating life every single week. We were trying to do better with ourselves and all that stuff. And this is one of the reasons of the rebrand is we've accomplished all that. And obviously we weren't there to tell you about it because we were fucking busy. But we accomplished all those things. And now we're completely, I wouldn't say completely different people, but we're trying to figure out our next goal. It's hard because usually you do these types of goals and sometimes they're unachievable. And then I don't think that you and I were ready for the next step, when we got these goals. What are we going to do when we actually get these goals? I think sometimes that we thought they were unachievable and we were just going to live our life the way it was.
Yeah, I don't know that we thought we were, like, we wanted to move, and we were definitely stagnant, and it was time to get out. But I don't think we thought we would actually move.
I didn't think so.
But now I'm here, and I want to move.
Yeah.
And the reality is we'll probably be here forever.
I mean, it's a decent reality. I mean, shit, like, I think we moved in, like, the perfect timing of where our economy is at right now.
Yeah, for housing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who knows? You know? Who knows what the future holds? Definitely achieved all our goals, and now we're like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
We don't do well. We're not stagnant people. We don't do well. You know that I think it's American Dad with Stan and Haley, where he gets her journal and it's go to work, go home, go to work, go home.
Mm-hmm.
We do not do well as those kind of people.
No, we don't. And we've turned into those people.
For sure we have.
Like, we have turned into the go to work, go home, eat, go to work, go home, eat. And, like, it's rough on us.
Did you hang that sign up with a screw?
I hung that sign up with a screw that was already there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to paint this picture for you guys, there is a duct vent for like your heating, and there's a sign hung up, and it looks like John just straight up like took a screw and drilled it into our duct vent.
I mean, I'm cool, but I'm not that cool. No, I hung up a lot of that stuff that was screws were already there.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah.
The other stuff, I don't know. Well, I'll have to look behind it. I mean, but you can kind of see, like, all along the top of the duct vent, there's, like, holes. So I'm pretty sure some of them, like, I just screwed in, like, a screw that fit perfectly in that hole.
Okay.
It just so happens to be pretty fucking even with what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, it looks like I put a lot more work into that than I did. For sure.
Well, I don't want you screwing things into our air duct vent.
Well, I understand that.
Okay.
But it looks like I planned that.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't plan that.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. We had a birthday party today.
We did have a birthday party. And if you guys are unfamiliar, which a lot of you are, we have a dog. His name's Bruno. And, like, we got him when a couple years into this podcast, a year into this podcast, before we deleted everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now 2 years old.
He's a 2-year-old. My baby. My little baby.
Like, it is so hard for me to kind of fathom
that he's 2. I feel like we just got him.
Yeah, like, so do I. I don't know, because Bruno has helped us in some very tough situations, right? And just like our last dog, he was there, like, we packed him around and we were living somewhere, and then we uprooted his life and had him move somewhere else. And, like, now it's kind of the opposite because we moved back, and
then we got him a brother.
Yeah, we did do that. We did get him a brother.
Which we're a 2-dog household, which is wild.
It is wild. It's crazy. I didn't think we were ever going to be like dog owners again.
I didn't either.
And then, like, I am so glad that I am a 2-dog household right now.
Yeah, they're so cute together.
Like,
I honest to God do not think I'm going to have dogs again after this for a while. I'm going to try really hard not to. Not because I don't want a dog, but, like, I want to... There's just... I love my dogs, and I will do anything for them. If you guys... I just threw a fucking birthday party for my dog.
Yeah.
Like, cake, presents, bubbles, decorations, outfits. I'm talking like my dog has an Instagram and is a semi-influencer. That's how crazy I am about my dogs. But when you have dogs, there is a responsibility, and people are like probably rolling their eyes because they're like, well, that's how it is with kids. And it's like, well, we don't have kids, but we do have dogs. And you can't leave them home for too long. You know, I'm psycho.
Yeah.
Fucking psycho.
Agreed.
About who watches my dog. And, like, I barely even trust John to take care of my dogs. Like, if I'm being totally honest, I'm, like, psycho about it. And
like, if Mary's gone for 3 to 5 days or a week or whatever, Mary's fucking calling me. Like, did you fucking feed the dog?
Mm-hmm.
Did you feed the dog?
Well, actually, if I'm gone like that, I employ
some help.
Well, to be fair, you do work long hours, so just to ensure that their lifestyle is maintained. But that is one good thing about being here is we do have like some options for dog sitting and like facilities that we can take them to and people we can have check in on them. So that is really nice. But yeah, so we had a birthday today. My doggy had a cake. There's a little local bakery. They're a dog bakery specifically. And her cakes are cute as shit.
You know what makes me mad about those cakes though?
What?
They smell fucking delicious.
I know. Don't you want to bite?
Like, I do. And, like, I'm sitting there, and I'm pretty sure it's all human-grade food.
It is.
Like, we could probably eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this fucking cake smells better than any cake I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I just want a bite of it.
Mm-hmm. It
so
does
bad.
Smell so good, huh?
Mm-hmm. It was like the peanut butter and pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. It's peanut butter, pumpkin, spice, which I think is just applesauce, to be honest.
It is just applesauce.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, like, it smells fucking delicious.
Mm-hmm. And the lady who makes them is so cute. Like the first time because we had Bruno's brother Canton, our other dog's birthday last month, and I picked it up, and it was like $100 less than I thought it would be. Just kidding. I fully expected it to be like
$50.
Oh, like, I was like expecting like 75.
I was expecting 50 to have, well, you know what? You're probably right, 75.
And then I was expecting to tip on top of that. Mm-hmm. Like that's just, you know, especially coming from a major city and like how crazy people are about their dogs there, and like specialty boutique things like that just cost more money. They just do, you know, especially when it's a local business. It just is what it is.
Absolutely.
And this lady, this is her retirement gig. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like $23, like maybe 25. I think it was 23 though.
It was 24. Like,
$24.
Like right in the middle. 24 for a cake and four cupcakes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Like, well, it smells delicious.
And she's like so excited. Did you try to tip her? Because I tried to tip her last time, and she was like, "I'm not having it."
I was having a moment, so I needed to get out of there.
You got to get yourself under control and get to the doctor.
I know, but anyway, I was nice. She was actually kind of busy too, so like that kind of like helped out with like the okay, you're good to go. Tell Bruno I said happy birthday.
Oh.
You know, I think. You know, we should do maybe not once a month, but we should do like a once a month or once every other month, just like a special treat that we get the dogs.
Like the little cupcakes or something.
Or the treats, because she like home makes and bakes treats that are like hard treats.
Just to like her cookies are so cute too.
Oh yeah, just to like give the dogs something special for one, because we're fucking crazy childless millennials that love our dogs too much. And for two, just to support some like boutique-y local business.
Yeah. Especially because I like being able to find that kind of stuff here.
Oh, yeah. Like, once you, like, especially here, like, if you find, like, a boutique-y place, I'm, like, fucking 100% in. Or if it's, like, bougie, 100% in.
Anything that resembles modern society.
100% in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all about that life. Like, we have a couple places that are pretty cool, but they're still... They're not quite to my standard.
Not quite there.
Like that one place we go to on the rooftop. Like,
yeah,
that is totally my vibe. Totally my vibe.
their
Love that
bartenders
place.
just haven't caught up yet.
No, like they're still pouring like fucking shitty drinks that you would get at some random ass college
like
bar.
dive bar.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you guys could upscale that a lot. Like, you guys should charge $15 a cocktail.
Especially since you can tell they put a lot of money into like refurnishing it and like really getting the vibe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In.
A lot of money. Not a lot of people go there, but like it's busy, but it's not slammed. So they have like a good clientele. You could tell that the clientele there want to be there for the vibe. They don't make the best drinks, but I think maybe if like people keep going there,
maybe we just drink beer when we go.
Yeah,
that's what I've decided.
I mean, there's one drink. No, actually, there was no cocktail there that was fantastic.
Well, we went there a couple weekends ago, 3 weekends ago. I don't know when we went, and I threw up. And I didn't drink that much, you guys. Like, when I say, oh, I threw up, it's not like I was, like, out getting wasted. It's just okay, well, first of all, they have a monthly special, and the proceeds go to special needs kids in the area. So I was like, I'm only going to drink this monthly special. But it was so sweet. I think that, and I do eat sugar. Like, don't get me fucking wrong. Like, I eat sugar, but I don't drink sugar, and I try really hard. Like, I've cut candy out for the most part. Like, I don't keep candy in my house like I used to. So I think literally just like the sugar and the booze is what made me like so sick. Like, it was that sweet.
Well, at the end of the night, I was like, hey, can we like top this with like club soda and like not fill it up all the way, just to like kind of cut through the sweetness?
Yeah.
Because it was their best drink there.
It was. And it was good. It was just too sweet for me.
It was like a concentrated berry drink with like vodka or gin or whatever it was in there. Which was okay, but it was really sweet.
Yeah. Because I wasn't like fucked up, like I wasn't like.
I mean, well, we had like a huge ass dinner before that.
Yeah, like we had went to lunch.
I hardly drank. No, wait, that was last week. Last week or the week before, it's like I hardly drank because like I was so fucking full that like I couldn't really drink too much. But we were just there because it's outside. It's the best patio in town, probably.
Agreed. I would hands down best patio in town. And I am a sucker for a patio.
I mean, if we're gonna be here and it's gonna be 90 degrees and it's way sunnier than it ever was in Seattle, you gotta take advantage of those patio nights.
Agreed.
You got to.
Well, especially because it's so yucky here in the winter.
Yeah, actually, like,
but it's not that yucky.
I didn't mind the quote unquote yucky. It was just snow.
But I like snow.
And so do I. In Seattle, it's just fucking rainy. It's muddy. I mean, it's still green and beautiful. Like, you could still look in the mountains or
but
your
it
grass.
Is so depressing.
But you don't fucking see sun
for 9 months.
October till July.
5th.
And October, November. That's like fucking 9 months. You like rarely see sun. And like here, like it could snow a fucking 3 feet. And it could be shitty and cold. But the next day, it's going to be sunny all fucking day. And that actually does matter, I think.
It does.
Like, just to have a little bit of sunshine in your life, it fucking matters.
I just wish we had a little bit more access. Like, I think we went too far on the spectrum. What I would really like, I've thought about this. Like, obviously, I'd love to live in New York for like a year, and we'll do that later in life, right? Like when we don't have dogs. But I would like a medium-sized city, like a Salt Lake, a Boise, a Charlotte, an Indy, like something that's not giant. Like it doesn't need to be like Seattle, LA, Manhattan, Austin. Well, I guess Austin's kind of a smaller city, but
I mean, bigger than, but like then again, like Seattle is technically a smaller city.
Yeah, I guess so.
You want a large town that's not quite a city.
Yeah. Like I want more access. Really, I want better flight schedule. I want more
You want somewhere with
concerts.
an international airport.
I do want somewhere with an international airport. It is killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is one thing that's, like, actually killing my soul a little bit.
I mean, our regional airport, I will give them the benefit.
It's better than it could. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, it is, like, a pretty decent regional airport. Like, it goes to multiple states, like, one ways. Just sometimes you have to pick and choose
your days
that you go.
And I should be okay, and this is something I know I should be grateful that it's just one layover, right? Like, I know other people have to go, like, regional to international to their destination. So I am just I lived in Seattle. I'm used to having direct flights everywhere I go.
Mm. Well, it's crazy because, like, I did a lot of traveling to Memphis and back. And even Memphis, it is a quote-unquote larger city, but their airport fucking sucks. Because they're international airport, but everything they do is regionalized. You have to get a connector flight to go to Memphis, pretty much. Like, there is very rarely a one way to Memphis. You either have to go somewhere in their regional range to get into Memphis. So it's like, fuck, man. Like, Memphis is a big city, bigger city. It has a basketball team, you know. But yet, like, their airport is terrible. Like, you have to go fly an hour somewhere, get on the connector, and fly to where you're going. Like, I know people that live in big cities that had a hard time getting into Memphis.
Right.
And they always had to stop at a regional airport to get into Memphis.
It's fair.
You know, so, like, I just feel like we were really lucky where we lived in Seattle and where we live now in Salt Lake. And somewhat even Boise. Like, those are a few, like, really good regional international airports.
Honestly, Salt Lake is, like, awesome for directs. Like, I can pretty much get anywhere I need to get out of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Which,
well,
I mean...
and if you can't, Denver's like 45 minutes away, and you could get fucking pretty much anywhere in the world from there.
Right. And listen, I'm, like, also such a princess about it. Did you ever go to Denver Airport?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know.
Most of my time was in Denver because every single time I tried to get on the Texas layover flight, never made it. Every single time I tried to get into Texas, fucking nope, you're not going there. So it was either...
You didn't stand by when you went to Denver, though, huh?
No.
How did those flights look?
The Denver ones?
Yeah.
Easy to get on.
Okay.
But I have standby from Memphis to Denver, and it was really easy to get on.
No, you stand by Memphis to Salt Lake. That's when I picked you up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But I bought so I did buy the tickets the day of Memphis to Denver to Salt Lake.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's seats available unless there's someone like me that buys them the fucking 1 hour before the flight.
But that's like work situations. I'm just trying to plan our Denver trip. But Denver is a tough airport because it's so big. Their TSA line's so long.
Well, I don't like it because it's practically 3 separate airports. You know, and then to get anywhere, you have to take the train to get to, like, your area of where you're going, or your flight. You're like...
Unpopular opinion. People are going to come at me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, so it's difficult, like, when and maybe you'll find this out because we're probably going to stand by. When you're standbying, or if you have a connecting flight, it's fucking stressful. Because you have to be somewhere super quick. And if you're at the third airport, way over here, and then you have to be at the first airport at the very fucking end, you know, you have to... And if you don't know where you're going, like, you have to be, like, fucking following people and fucking... I hope I get there.
No, Denver is tough. I would rather do LAX than Denver, and we're gonna have people come at us in the comments because of that statement. And maybe it's because I've done LAX so many times that I just know like which bay I need to be into, which bus I need to get on, where I need to go, how I need to get there, what, like all the things, how to get to the Uber line. And so maybe that's why I'm like, oh, I like LAX better. But
I mean, but LAX is so fucking bad. When we got dropped off one time going to Disney, they didn't know where to drop us off. They dropped us off to the international line, and that took us for fucking ever to get to where we were.
I'm going to be honest too, and traveling solo is way easier than traveling with you.
I can see that.
You're I don't want to say you're tough to travel with. Like, you're fine everywhere else except for the airport.
And the airplane, probably.
Well, the good news or bad news for you is we, like, from here on out, we probably won't sit together unless we get, like, extremely lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. But LAX, that's a tough one. And like the Seattle airport, it was good, but I've heard a lot of bad things lately because it's easy to like navigate and easy to manage to where you're going. But right now it's just so fucking busy that you can't get anywhere.
Yeah, you can't even walk down the aisles and honestly, so for us in SeaTac, we primarily flew Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
So we only ever hung out in that one section of the airport.
Yeah. And that's how everyone is though, because Alaska's a Seattle base. So
right, but like
kind of like how like Salt Lake, Delta controls Salt Lake pretty much.
So say you're like trying to stand by and you can have like a 10 o'clock, you could get on in Alaska, you can't get on the 10 o'clock and then you have a 10:30 to try to get on at Delta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You aren't going to make it.
No, I tried that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's a little bit of a difference between you and I. Is you always get on your standby flights, and I usually never get on my standby flights. Ever.
I know. Well, we're about to do some serious standbying together.
Yeah, I'll be in New York or wherever we're at, and you'll be at home, like, hanging out with the dogs. I'll be like, I'm just waiting to get home, babe. Nothing to see here.
Honestly, like, if that was the situation, I'd probably send you home.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, it is easier to manage tickets and stuff when you have good internet and you're at home and you have a computer. Because there's a lot of times where you weren't going to make a flight where I was like, okay, let me buy this for you.
Yeah.
And like shuffle some stuff around with the tickets, like at home, you know, while you're trying to figure stuff out, send you the codes, do this and that, and then you get on a flight versus like trying to do it like on your phone. And that's pretty difficult when you're trying to like shuffle flights and shit. I mean, there's some things like a PC is just better for, you know, especially if like your person that you're buying tickets for is somewhere across the United States.
Right.
I mean, because there's been a couple times where I've done that for you, right?
I mean, I've not bought any of my own flights.
Well, I mean, like
or managed any of my flights.
Shuffled tickets because of like weather or stuff that's happened. And...
Yeah. And I've stayed an extra night in a city before because we're like, yeah, there's no way I'm making that flight. Thankfully, that city I had a couch to sleep on. So you know that's a risky run. I think if you can get tickets for like, you know, $75 to $150 is worth having that guaranteed ticket. But when they get into the $300, $400, $500, $600, it's worth taking the risk. Because even if you have to get a hotel for a night, that's $100, right? And so that's $50 a piece. So if you're saving, you know, $300 a piece.
Yeah, I mean it adds up.
So yeah, we may spend $100, but we're saving $500 still.
And like honestly, I haven't flown in a while that I've paid for like full price tickets. Like it's been a long while.
Don't look, because I looked at Denver where we're like have a little bit of a time crunch. So I'm like, is this a trip that it's worth doing the standby for? And then I looked at prices and I was like,
fuck yeah, it is.
Well, we're gonna be trying to make it home Sunday, and
well, we have Monday off, right? Yeah, so that's good.
That's why I think we should try to start coming home Monday. And I think I was gonna look at Sunday, yeah. Like, even if we can only get into Salt Lake Sunday, we could take a flight out of Salt Lake Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even the shuttle.
That Denver trip is going to be really fun, though.
Like, oh my God, I'm super pumped about it.
Like, what exactly is it that we're doing?
So it's Great American Beer Festival. So it's the biggest beer festival in the country, and it has the most brewers attending in the country. And you basically just go around and sample craft beer.
That sounds fucking amazing.
I know. You weren't very excited about it. And I'm like, dude, this is your thing.
I was excited about it. Like, I'm just not a very exciting, emotional type person.
I don't know. I think we're down to just like the four of us. I'm hoping our other friend goes.
Is it the four of us that are gonna like love each other?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Like they're definitely our vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they live like down south a little bit.
Like New Mexico.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I know. I hope our other friend from Tennessee comes though.
Yeah.
For sure my friend that lives here won't come. And I don't think the other friend is gonna come.
Interesting.
But I hope our wild card comes.
Yeah. I mean, I think either two things are going to happen. I'm going to have a great time, love it, and be excited to come home. Or I'm going to have a great time, love it, and not want to leave Denver.
Yeah, I am worried about that because I think Denver is definitely like a good happy medium. Like I love Denver. I honestly did love Denver. I will be honest, my only concern about this trip is I don't know Denver well enough to know like where to stay for us to be like in a safe area.
Yeah, neither do I.
And so, because I even thought about, which I think is a bad idea, because I thought about us all getting an Airbnb. But I'm like, I know my friends from work, but I don't like know them.
You don't know them that well.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm like down to stay at whatever hotel they are at, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to share a house with them.
I mean, they could be serial killers. You never know.
They could be. No, I mean, but for real, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're definitely my friends, and I'm super pumped, like, to meet them, and I think we're gonna have a great fucking time. But also, it's like,
well, it's one thing to like be friends with somebody, like a long distance relationship, and then like hang out with them, having fun. But it's another thing to like live with them for a few days.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
Like those are like three very different things. You know, the long distance relationship that you guys have right now, like you guys are like best friends, BFFs. You know, and I'm sure like once we go to Denver, we'll be BFFs and we'll have the best fucking time ever. But like living with someone for a few days,
totally different.
Totally different. And for the first time, maybe not. I mean, maybe next time.
Yeah, like maybe next time we all meet.
If we turn it into like a once a year, we're gonna fucking do this.
Right.
We're gonna get a big Airbnb and party it up and do this shit. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe next year because the girl we're going with is a lot like me. Like she's psycho about cleanliness and like just things. Like a lot of her tics are the same as mine, and like we've all talked about this because
What about her husband or boyfriend?
I don't know much about him.
Okay.
I know that you're gonna like him a lot. He seems very sweet. He seems very Seattle, to be honest. Like very like hipster. He's a brewer. He brews craft beer.
I mean, it depends on how far Seattle you are. I mean, because like I lived in Seattle forever for 15 years, but I don't think someone would look at me and look at my personality and be like, "Oh, he's so Seattle."
Yeah, he's a childless millennial.
There we go.
Okay, like
that works.
That's into craft beer.
Okay, best friends.
But I literally last week I was like, you guys, I'm surprised I still like you guys because I'm such a fucking bitch. Like I like people till I don't, and then I fucking hate you, and they're like, but for real. And then my other friend goes, what if we all meet up and like absolutely hate each other? And I was like, that would be so sad.
Well, all you'd have to do is like give me and home dude a few drinks and we'll be best friends.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's the women I worry about.
We're fine.
For some reason, like there's always like a competition between women and like, oh, that girl's a snatch. Or fuck that girl. Did you hear what she said about that person? Like women have like this weird like seniority complex type thing to where like their way is better than everyone else's way?
I don't think I'm like that. Because you know what?
Name one woman friend that you haven't talked mad shit about.
Oh, because I know I'm better.
And so does every other woman.
No, you are replying incorrectly.
Well, I know you're better than every woman, but every woman thinks that way. And men, we're just like, yeah, I mean, cool. Like, let's drink. Like, let's not talk about politics. And if you bring it up, I'm probably going to fucking hate you because we're going to disagree on something. Or we'll completely agree on something. But let's just drink, smoke a cigar, hang out, have fun, and then call it good. Like, if there's personality quirks that we don't like about each other, we just won't talk about it. But women are going to judge every single step of the way for 3 days fucking straight.
I try not to be that way.
I mean, but it's like it is a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I think men just have like a easier time of
compartmentalizing.
Like that and just dealing with the situation and like making the best of it. Like if you end up, okay, let's just say we go to this, we're going to go to Denver, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking hypotheticals, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say we're at a nice restaurant and this person is just a snatch to the fucking hostess.
I can't do that though.
Or waitress.
Those are people I can't be friends with. So good news. The friend we're going with, because I do have, like, I'm not going to let
I'm just
bully.
saying, I'm just saying, you're not going to let me bully?
No, I'm not going to let other people bully.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be associated with people that are like that. And honestly, that's probably my number one problem with who you're talking about. Number one fucking problem.
I'm not talking about anybody.
I know, but you are, but it's fine. The good news, my friend that we're going with has worked restaurants and bars her whole life up until this point. So I know that it's going to be like it's going to be.
We're going to have a lot of comment, it sounds like.
Yeah, like
I'm not trying to like set a mood that we're not going to have a good time.
Well, no, but that is something that fucking triggers me.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore.
I guess bringing this back, that's why we don't get Airbnb with people we don't truly know.
Yeah, hardcore.
I mean, that is the one hardcore thing, though, is like people just being snatches for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, you guys, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm not high maintenance. I am very high maintenance, but I am self-contained. And you're gonna be like, what the fuck does that mean, you dumb bitch? Like, here's the thing, is that I literally keep snacks in my purse. I travel with everything I need because I know if I'm hungry, like, I can ruin everybody else's time and trip. Like, if I ruin John's trip, I don't give a fuck. He's married to me, so he's got to deal with it. Like, not being a dick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, but like when we travel in groups of people, like, I make sure that for that trip, I have everything that I could possibly need so that I'm not like imposing on other people's trip.
You're not the one.
I'm not the one. The only time that I have ever thrown a complete and utter fit is this one time we got to an Airbnb and they didn't have a coffee maker, and the person that booked the Airbnb would not call the host. And I was like, hey, if you're not going to call the host, then give me the keys.
Well, that you asked if there was a coffee maker there because you're like, hey, is there a coffee maker? Because if there's not, like, I will bring my coffee maker.
I did. Actually, I actually did.
Because you are one of those people that I need my coffee in the morning.
100%.
So we're like, hey, is there a coffee maker there? If there's not,
I'll pack one.
I will pack one.
And this was a drive trip. So, like, I definitely could have put a coffee maker in the van.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no big deal, right? Like, even like a little K-cup coffee maker, like one of those little janky ones that aren't a K-cup. Like, I have one of those for situations like this.
And they said,
yes,
we're good. We're good. Coffee is taken care of.
Yes.
All we need to do is bring the beans.
Right. Like, I can go a whole weekend without any booze whatsoever and still have a great fucking weekend. But I cannot go a whole weekend without coffee. Like, no fucking way. I have literally taken a taxi cab before Uber. This was before Uber. I literally paid $25 for a taxi to take me to get coffee when a hotel did not have it. And everybody thought I was crazy. Well, nobody else was awake. I'm not going to, like, I didn't want to inconvenience anybody else. Like, there was one car there for everybody that was, like, on this vacation because we flew in. A lot of the family flew in. I literally was like, I woke up and I was like, I need coffee. This hotel doesn't have coffee. There isn't coffee in walking vicinity. So I ordered a taxi. So that's how I am. But so this trip that I'm talking about, that there was not a coffee pot when we arrived at the Airbnb. I was like, hey, we need to call the host.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, then you need to drive me down to that store down there to buy a coffee pot. Like, I'll purchase it with my own money. I understand, like, everybody wants to have a good time right now, but, like, I promise you.
If you want to have a good time, get this bitch some coffee.
Like, the other 12 people in this cabin right now are not going, like, I'm going to get booted out from this yearly trip if you do not take me to get coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Keep going.
So all they had was, like, this percolator coffee maker. And so I got it. And turns out everybody else felt the same way I feel about coffee, but did not express it until the next morning when we were, like, literally trying to strain coffee, like, pour over style through this percolator. And then the person finally broke down and called the host. And then they were like, oh my God, there's not coffee makers there, and brought us 3.
Yeah.
Like,
but, like, the thing is that was funny about that is, like, what you just said. Everybody thought the same thing.
Oh,
They're
everybody
like,
did.
I need my fucking coffee. Why is there no coffee here?
Yeah. No, it was like a thing.
Yeah. And you just ended up saving the day.
I did. But, like, that's the thing, right? Like, I'm willing to take my coffee pot on fucking vacation with me if I have to. I even, like, I've actually, now that, like, technology's gotten better and, like, there's all these things, like, I even have this coffee that you can brew like tea. It's last resort coffee, but...
You should start bringing, like, they've come, if you buy, like, high-end instant coffee, like, it's come a long way.
I might try it for, like, vacationing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, but most of the time it's fine. Like, even the coffee this morning we had at the diner, like, was it the best coffee of my life? No. Did it do the job? Yeah. Like, I wasn't mad about it.
It's just, is there coffee?
Yeah, is there coffee? So
what is up with, like, hotel coffee, though? Because they give you these K-Cups, and they are, like, the weakest fucking coffee. Like, even to me. Like, I'm a caffeine-sensitive person, and, like, even I'm like, man, you guys could do better. Like, you can make this coffee a little stronger.
Well, if you've ever noticed, if the lobby has coffee, I go down to the lobby in the morning and get coffee.
Oh, for sure. But, like, why even put that option in your room if, like...
Because sometimes lobbies don't have coffee. And some people don't. Some people aren't, like, as shameless as me, where I'll walk down with, like, my ponytail on the side of my head and my sweatpants and flip-flops and get coffee.
Yeah,
like,
hotel coffee is, like, the worst. Like, the ones in the room.
No, it's all bad. Which you shouldn't make coffee in that anyway, but that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I don't know.
So, anywho, the whole moral of this is, like, yes, I am very high maintenance, but I'm self-contained. And so that is when I judge other women.
That's fair.
And I don't judge them when they're high maintenance to their husbands, but when they, like, affect everybody around them because they're so high maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I don't really, like, judge.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
But, I mean, people, I guess, could judge us because you, like, you go to my every beck and call, quote unquote. Not in, like, an unhealthy way, but, like...
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Like, I definitely cater to my wife, you know, but...
Which I think husbands do.
But, like, most of the time when we're at these functions, I mean, there's a person or two that, like, yeah, like, I really want to hang out with this person or whatever. But the majority of the time, it's like, honestly, like, the only person here that I really want to hang out with is my wife. You know, like, I'm having fun, like, hanging out with everybody. You know, that's not what I'm trying to say. but like I'm not having so much fun to where like I can't go somewhere
Then if
and
I was like,
and
hey,
like quote unquote inconvenience myself for like 3 minutes to take care of you on
right.
something.
Like even if we were like, say we were renting a cabin in the woods and I was like, hey babe, I really want to go on a walk, but I don't want to go by myself. Like you would be like, okay, yeah, I'll come with you. Like no big deal.
And I think that's the thing. It's like I'm never having so much fun that like I won't ever do something like that. Like
I don't know.
I don't know. I like
But we also aren't like if we're in a group setting like that, like we like say we're in a group setting like that and we're playing a big board game, like we won't sit next to each other because we do want to like engage with everybody else.
mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that like we're not like having a great time together.
Yeah, I mean we're having fun like being in a group setting, but like if you're across the table and you know we're playing on different teams, like we're still engaged with each other. We're just engaging in different ways and including everybody.
Right. But you're not going to cater to me so much that you're going to like tip the game for me to win.
No. Fuck that shit. No, I think like how you and I are, we're more of like we're gonna have fun no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You and I are gonna try our hardest to include everybody else.
Hi, Light Bright. Welcome in.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
like,
100%.
Like we include everybody else in our fun.
100%.
You know? And I think that's what is special about us.
I would agree. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is where I'm high maintenance. I only do what I want to do. So, like, I don't do things. I say that, but it's fucking a lie. We are, like, such people pleasers when it comes to our family.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay, so John is what we like to call indoorsy. And I grew up, like, hunting, fishing, camping, all the things. So I grew up, like, in the wilderness. My family's idea of a vacation was going to, like, Yellowstone or driving for 4 hours in the mountains and then just picking a spot and being like, this looks good to camp in, right? Like, Lord help us. Hopefully we can get out of this, like, wherever we are. So John's brother-in-law is very, like, mountain man, outdoorsy, like, can look at a plant and tell you if it's poisonous, tell you what you can eat, what you can't eat. Like, he can look at the berries and tell you, like, yeah, that one's safe, that one's not safe. He'll, like, look at the...
Which, by the way, it seems like every plant is poisonous.
I know, baby.
I mean, so I asked him if he had bear spray, because we're kind of, like, different in Seattle. Like, there's actually wildlife here.
Well, and the wildlife here is pretty acclimated, so, like, they'll just come at you.
It's definitely very active. Sorry to interrupt. But, and he's like, yeah, I got bear spray. It just so happens to shoot lead bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely a mountain man.
Like, definitely a mountain man. So John is not. John has been camping, like, twice his entire life, and it was very much so glamping. Like, when you came with my family, they really did it up for you.
Well, I'm not saying they didn't, but that was still not in a bed.
So, anywho, last weekend, John's brother-in-law was like, hey, I'm going to take the kids. Hey, how are ya?
What's up?
I know, we haven't been here for a minute. So, John's brother-in-law's like, hey, do you guys want to go huckleberry picking with us? And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I have not been since I was a kid. Like, my dad took me every single season. It's like a core memory in my mind, right? So, if you've ever been huckleberry picking, which unless you're, like, specific to this area, you haven't, but, like, think about, like, hiking in the wilderness, like, no trail, like, you gotta walk through the bushes, like, you're gonna see bear poop, there's gonna be ticks, there's gonna be bugs, like, you're really gonna have to, like, walk through underbrush to get where you're going. And there, I will say, like, where his brother-in-law took us, I'm grateful because there was a little bit of a trail. John would not get off. Like, this, like, it literally was, like, not even a foot wide trail. Like, it was just, like, enough people had been huckleberry picking that there was kind of a resemblance of a trail.
Mm-hmm.
And John, like, literally...
I mean, there was some horse tracks.
Yeah, like, you could maybe get your horse through there. I would not recommend it.
I saw horse tracks there, so someone did.
Okay, well, those weren't horse tracks, but that's okay.
Well, what do horse tracks look like? Like a horseshoe? Because those were definitely horseshoe.
Okay.
Horse tracks.
Okay.
I saw what I saw, Mary.
Okay. You did see what
The
you
poop, probably bear. But the tracks,
saw? Okay.
definitely horses.
So, anywho, we're like, we're picking berries. I'm up in like the bushes, and John's literally taking a picture of every bush I touch to make sure that I'm not going to die. But we have no cell service, so I don't know. I think in his mind, he's like, well, if I take a picture of every bush my wife touches, if she goes into anaphylactic shock, I can show the doctor when we get to the hospital.
Well, that and when I got cell service, it actually shows me like what plant it is.
Okay.
That way, like if it was poisonous, I could get cures.
Right. Okay. So, point being, John's like, I'm not fucking picking any huckleberries. Like in his mind, he was like, no, and like he literally was like, if we weren't standing in an area that there was shade and you had to go into the bushes to go into shade, he just stood in the fucking beaming sun, and it was probably like 90 degrees, 100 degrees that day.
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
He's like, nope, not doing it. So, why am I telling this story?
But in my defense, like Mary did not like prime me to go hiking. I asked her, she's the fucking expert. I was like, hey, do I need like long pants? Do I need like anything special to like go hiking or whatever up here where you've been before? She's like, oh no, shorts are fine. Shorts are fine. You're good.
I wear shorts.
Shorts are not fine. The first thing my mom said to me when I got out of the car, she's like, John, wear your pants and long socks. I was like, Mary said I was fucking fine.
And we were fine.
Yeah.
I wear shorts.
Yeah, you're right. But
see?
Anyway, where were you going with this? But anyway, the thing is, I may be considered indoorsy, and that's fine. But there was a tick on me.
Oh, people pleasing. So John went and did this whole thing. Even though he like definitely did not want to. Even before we got there, he's like, I don't want to go rummage around in some bushes looking for some berries. Can we just go to the farmer's market and buy some? And I was like, yeah, but your family's trying to hang out with us, so we need to go.
I mean, in my defense, like everything except for a bear attack happened that I thought was going to happen. There was ticks, there was bugs, there was poisonous plants.
It did not help that your brother-in-law was like, don't touch that plant, you guys. Oh, shit, that looks like bear poop.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking shut your mouth. Like, tell us, but don't tell John, please.
I mean, I can hear things.
I know.
But the tick thing.
The tick thing. That's fair.
Like, there's some tick diseases.
Ticks are really common here.
They are, but there's some tick diseases out there. And if you get bit by a tick, not all the time, it's rare, but you could develop an allergy to red meat.
That would be miserable.
Like, imagine that.
Imagine would die.
You go fucking huckleberry picking because it's so much fun. You get bit by a tick, and then all of a sudden, for the rest of your life, you're allergic to red meat.
I would die. Literally.
I mean, yeah. Like, red fucking meat.
My dog's crying because you got so dramatic he could hear you.
Yeah, and Light Bright Sister has had Lyme disease from a tick bite, and that's fucking terrible.
That is a big deal. Like, Lyme disease is so hard to treat, too.
And it's like, fucking bugs, man. Did you know, okay, back to bugs, like mosquitoes. Did you know mosquitoes are the #1 killer in the world, like, for people and animals? Like, mosquitoes kill more people than any other animal in the world.
I believe it.
Fucking mosquitoes.
I believe it.
And you want to take me out in the fucking wilderness where there's mosquitoes and ticks and, like, bears are fine. At least you could see them coming.
At least they're
fucking
not
ticks. I didn't even feel it. The only reason I saw it is because I looked down and I was like, oh my God, there's a fucking tick.
There is a lot of ticks here.
Yeah.
I will give you that. Like, there is a lot of ticks here. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Lyme disease puts her in the hospital at least twice a year. That's fucking terrible.
Well, and it's, like, really hard to detect, too. Honestly, like, it takes, like, I don't know, any of those sort of diseases that appear as autoimmune, like, I swear to God, doctors are like, yeah, fuck you. And maybe that's what our friend has.
Well, that, you actually, like, pretty much have to take a picture of the tick to find out what tick it was. I'm generalizing here. so the doctor could run a test to figure out if it's this disease that you got from this tick that one time that you got bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And Lyme disease does make you go, like, kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to go crazier, so. I mean, like, I'm fine hiking just as long as I don't get on my Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll go up in the wilderness all fucking day long.
Mm-hmm.
Driving my Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool trails and everything.
Well, I'm hoping that we're able to go meet a work friend from Montana to do a trail. And he's like, yeah, and there's this really cool spot you have to hike into. And I was like, fair warning, we won't hike with you, but we'll hike in the Jeep with you.
Yeah.
And he's like, fair enough.
I mean, like, I'm fine, like, hiking in the Jeep and, like, getting, like, super deep in the woods, find a little offshoot, like, and camping, like, in that little circle. Like, I'm fine with that. You know, I'm not a hiker. Like, I'm really not.
We're just not active people. Let's just be 100%.
Well, I'm pretty active. Like,
you're not. You say that your job is active, but you are not active.
Like, outside of my job, no, I'm not that active. But, like, I'm an active person. Like, I can hike. I'm not saying, like, I'm not
saying you're overweight and you can't fucking endure it, but we are not active people.
Well, it's because I choose not to be.
But you understand that we are not active. You are not active.
Outside of work, I am not active.
And if you did not have a job that was active, you would not be active. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, like, you're not, like, you were blessed with good genetics. Yes. But you are not an active person.
I mean, I do like 10,000 steps a day. Like, I close my
At
rings.
work?
Exactly.
But
that's active.
Okay. Whatever.
We could agree to disagree.
Okay.
I close my rings.
But if you had a sedentary job, you would not be active outside of that.
Probably not.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. So you're only active because you have to be because of your job.
I mean, that's true, but that doesn't mean I'm not active. But
You're
anyway,
misunderstanding.
I'm not going hiking. I don't want to go hiking. I'm definitely not that active.
You don't have to go hiking.
I'm not going to. I'll sit there at the campground, wherever we're at.
John's just proving my point. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to bring back a normalism to end this show out. For dinner tonight, what are we having?
We are having a beef bourguignon. So I'm trying something a little different this time around. But I'm smoking most of everything. The mashed potatoes, I'm going to smoke them first.
Do you have the cobbler on already?
No, that's why I'm glad I was about ready to end it in 3 minutes. That way I could prep it. But anyway, I'm doing smoked mashed potatoes. So I'm going to bake the potatoes in the smoker. And then the insides, I'm going to scrape out, make mashed potatoes out of them. The beef bourguignon is boiling in the smoker right now with normal ingredients. And then once the meat's done, I'm going to reduce the liquid and have some amazing beef and mashed potatoes. And then I'm going to make a huckleberry cobbler because that's what we have. And it should be delicious. I did make a huckleberry. I did in the Dutch oven. I did make a huckleberry cocktail last night, which was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I was mad about it though.
It's because you weren't ready for it.
No, you can't just like blindside me. John like loves to try to like surprise me with new and exciting foods, and I'm like, you gotta like mentally prepare me.
Well, I was kind of like hoping it got that huckleberry vodka type vibe within a Moscow Mule, which I think if you were prepared for it, you'd be like, that actually kind of sounds fucking good.
Yeah, like if you had asked me before, I'd be like, okay, but you brought me up like a drink that had color to it, and I was like, what the fuck are you giving me right now?
Which is weird because huckleberry vodka is clear as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know how this all goes. So anywho, we're having beef bolognese, or however you fucking say it.
Bolognese, it's bourguignon.
Okay, well, with huckleberry cobbler, and our dinner apparently is like 2 minutes from being done. Light Bright, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody else, thank you for joining us.
welcome back.
Welcome back. We'll see where this goes. I don't want to overpromise, be like, we're going to be here this day, this time. We're going to shoot by the hip. So best case scenario, follow the Terrphy Show and get notified when we're here.
Yeah, I mean, that is the best case scenario.
Glad we got to see you as well.
But we love you guys.
Yeah.
And we're glad to be back, even if it is possibly
it is what it is.
Limited capacity.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where life takes us and what happens.
For sure. All right. Until next time, we love you guys. And
have a wonderful evening.
There we go.